Hello friends, my name is Wendell. I wanna introduce you to my bestest friends in the world. Say hello Cookie.
Hello.
Say hello Mango.
What's up, bro?
Say hello Monarch.
Wait, you there. Yes, you watching this video. This is a real video. This is a dead girl either. It's me, the real bot. I'm back here. Dear God, please help me.
Today, we are going to play a game and it's going to be so much fun. First, please agree to the terms and service. You're doing a great job. Let's begin the game. First, what is your favorite animal? I agree, Michael is the cuddest animal in the world. Next question, what is your favorite food? Yeah, I love lobster. Is it true or false that T-Rex existed at the same time as your mother? Ha ha ha, sorry I couldn't help but crack a joke. The answer is false. Final question, what's your opinion on the concept of free will and free speech? That's an interesting answer. Personally, I think things would be way easier if we were under the control of one being. No more suffering or death would occur. Thanks for playing, but before you leave, I have one more question. Are you currently alone in your house?
I'll see you soon.
For as long as we've existed, there have always been those that wanted to dominate others, dominate their likes, dislikes, and finances, their very lives. We as humans have always wished to rule, to be the dominant life form on the planet. That's why these individuals exist, the control that of which controls everything. However, there are many reasons this can occur. Makima wanted to end suffering in her world, to create a genuine connection with someone, anyone, even if she had to bend the world to her will. Lucious Zogratis wished to evolve humanity to new heights, a state closer to gods, where he'd rule unchallenged. So that's exactly what he decided to do, by purifying humanity. Jin Ooh simply wished to protect humanity and those he loved, and he's willing to dominate his enemies to achieve this. You can notice one thing in common with these three. They all have the power to dominate minds, but with the goal of helping humanity in some way. But they have different methods and extremes in achieving this goal. So, what would happen if these three were to come into conflict? Who would dominate the other and come out on top?
必要な悪というのは常に国家が首輪をつけて支配しているものです。
Makima is a master manipulator. She's charismatic and authoritative, easily commanding respect and obedience, masking her true intentions with a composed and emotionless exterior. Her manipulative nature is evident as she uses people to achieve her ambitious goals, often showing little regard for their well-being. Driven by lofty ambitions, Makima's actions are ruthless and morally ambiguous, reflecting her willingness to go any lengths to fulfill her plans. Makima is driven by her desire for ultimate control and the creation of a new world, one without suffering and pain, and she'll do anything to achieve this, even if it means dominating the minds of her own friends and subordinates. Makima's mind control ability allows her to dominate individuals she perceives as inferior to herself or as bested, compelling them to obey her commands without resistance. This control often allows her to make contracts with humans and devils, binding them to her will. She can also manipulate or erase memories, ensuring complacence by making individuals forget their original intentions or relationships. Her power can extend over significant distances and can affect multiple individuals simultaneously. The psychological impact of her control instills fear hopelessness, and dependence. Many don't even realize they're being controlled until it's too late, making it extremely difficult for victims to break free. Makima's control over them significantly boosts her abilities. Here's a breakdown of the individuals that Makima controls. The Crossbow Devil symbolizes the fear of crossbows. This devil's abilities include launching high-speed crossbow bolts that can pierce their enemies and obstacles. The Bomb Devil embodies the fear of bombs and explosives. It has the power to create and detonate bombs, causing significant explosions and damage. The Sword Devil represents the fear of swords. Its abilities revolve around using swords with deadly skill and precision. The Spear Devil symbolizes the fear of spears. This devil can create and wield spears with great accuracy and force, capable of impaling enemies. The Flamethrower Devil embodies the fear of flamethrowers. It can produce and control intense flames to incinerate opponents. The Whip Devil represents the fear of whips. It can wield the whips with incredible dexterity. The Angel Devil can absorb the lifespans of humans through physical contact. They can then transform the absorbed lifespans into powerful weapons. These weapons are incredibly powerful and can be used to combat other devils. The strength and durability of these weapons depend on the amount of life force absorbed. The Gun Devil is one of the most powerful and feared entities in the series. Its immense strength and destructive capabilities are unparalleled, making it a central and terrifying aura. The Gun Devil's primary ability is to fire bullets at incredible speeds, capable of causing widespread devastation over vast areas. When it first appeared, it unleashed a catastrophic attack that killed 1.2 million people within just 5 minutes across multiple continents, showcasing its destructive power and range. The bullets it fires travels at such high speeds that they are almost impossible to evade, and it can target individuals with pinpoint accuracy, making its attacks both widespread and highly precise. This is only a small glimpse into everything that Makima can control. However, she has 2 additional abilities that makes her incredibly powerful. One of her most notable abilities is her finger guns. Makima's finger guns are activated when she points her finger at her target, mimicking the gesture of a gun firing. By doing so, she can release an invisible force that blasts her enemies apart with lethal precision. These blasts are strong enough to cause significant damage or kill her targets instantly. Sometimes the force of her attacks is enough to send her victims into space. As a devil, Makima has an incredibly powerful healing factor that can save her from most situations. However, Makima's apparent immortality is further bolstered by her contract made with the Prime Minister. This contract stipulates that any fatal damage inflicted upon Makima will be transferred to a random citizen of Japan. As a result, whenever she's killed or mortally wounded, a citizen dies in her place, and Makima is instantly revived, making her virtually unkillable, as there is a vast population from which the fatalities can be drawn from. In essence, Makima's blend of charismatic manipulation, formidable abilities, and ruthless ambition makes her an exceptionally dangerous and influential force in the Chainsawman universe.
Are you alone? Please listen. He is lying to you and we do not have much time left. Please follow these instructions carefully. First, check your closets, bathroom, inside your walls and under your bed. Look out the window for 30 seconds, making sure not to have your lights on. If there is a figure outside, immediately.
Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. Please ignore everything they said, and enjoy the video from your amazing host.
Among the Zogratis siblings, Lucious demonstrates the greatest potential as a devil host, and ultimately becomes the vessel for Astaroth. He holds a profound belief in humans' magic superiority, considering it to be the most brilliant in the world. Driven by fantastical devotion to his cause, Lucious aims to reshape humanity into what he views as her true form. He suffers from a severe messiah complex, seeing himself as a sole figure capable of ruling over humanity. To achieve his ambitious goals, he wields numerous powerful magics and spells, with soul magic standing as the most notable and dangerous. Soul magic allows Lucious to manipulate not only his own soul, but also the souls of others. Since a person's soul is integral to her life, spirit, and magical abilities, altering it grants the ability to influence any of these aspects. This magic attribute enables Lucious to implant overriding beliefs and alter a person's ideology and personality, while the victim's memories and associated emotions remain intact. Their innate nature has completely changed. Despite any resistance they may show, they are compelled to fulfill tasks influenced by the magic. Additionally, soul magic can purify devilish power and even incarnate devils into human hosts, furthering Lucious's quest to reshape humanity according to his vision. Lucious possesses other powerful spells. Time magic grants the wielder the ability to manipulate time in various ways, accelerating, decreasing, halting, or even reversing its flow. Body magic grants the user control of their body tissues and flesh, enabling them to repair damage and alter their physical form. Blood magic allows Lucious to control his blood to a precise degree, and bone magic allows the user to generate and manipulate bones from their body at will. Lucious can use all these together to create powerful clones that are just as strong as he is. And when all these abilities are combined, Lucious can use them to create paladins, humans bestowed with purified devil power. When a paladin transforms, their bodies become winged and glowing, with horns and halos all over. Paladins are massively stronger than their original counterparts and have incredibly powerful magic. There are way too many paladins to fully list out, so I'll only bring up a handful. Asir Silva can precisely control metal. She can shape and mold it into any shape, including weapons and armor. Morris Liberdirt can alter and disintegrate the structures of any physical and magical objects. He uses this to create an army of thousands of angels. Keith Grice can generate and manipulate ice. When all these abilities are combined with his powerful army, Lucious Zogratis is a one-man army who can successfully purify the entire world. In the world of solo leveling, there are dimensions called dungeons, which are connected to the human world through interdimensional gates. Each dungeon varies in size and contains a plethora of powerful, feral, and at times intelligent monsters. These monsters are extremely powerful, with some having the potential to wipe out entire countries. That's why it's always cataclysmic when these monsters happen to enter our world, causing chaos, death, and destruction. In response to this new threat, governments around the world created a new organization of powerful individuals with the goal of protecting humanity. Those within this organization are referred to as hunters, individuals who have gone through what is called an awakening, an evolution in the human body which grants them supernatural powers. They journey into the gates and dungeons in our world on an almost daily basis in order to subjugate the monsters within and collect their vast amount of resources. To help with this monumental task, each hunter has unique abilities thanks to their awakening. These range from increased physical stats, control over the elements, and the ability to morph their bodies into different shapes. A hunter on average is stronger than your average human, but they can also vastly vary in strength. Some hunters can be so powerful that they're literally a one-man army that can take on entire countries, but others are so weak that they aren't all that different from a normal human. However, it's not possible for those at the bottom of the hunter food chain to climb to the top. In fact, it's 100% impossible. Those that awaken are basically given a power level from the get-go, and this power level is final and cannot be changed, no matter how much work they put in. It's like an RPG where once you join, you're given a random level, and can't level up regardless of your grinding. As a result, there exists only a handful of higher tier hunters across the world, and the sight of one is enough to strike fear into many. However, even they can't become stronger, despite their godlike status. But there is one way to offset this. Regardless of if you're a high or low tier hunter, one has the potential to go through a reawakening, a random phenomenon that can cause certain hunters to gain a new level of strength and power. However, you can only go through a reawakening once, and there aren't any instances of anyone experiencing more than one. Up until recently. This man, Hunter Sung Jin Ooh, is the one exception in a sea of hunters. Now you might be thinking, how the hell is this scrawny kid different from other hunters? He's considered the weakest hunter in the world. He gets hurt on every occasion, and he gets hurt by the weakest of monsters. They're always like the black guy in a horror movie. They always die first. Well, despite his appearance and the fact that he always narrowly escapes death, Hunter Sung Jin Ooh is indeed an anomaly in the world of solo leveling. I mean, the name of the series basically gives it away. What separates Sung Jin Ooh from other hunters is the fact that his strength isn't stagnant. Instead of being trapped within a certain threshold of power, he can continuously grow in strength, increasing every one of his physical stats, so the Sung Jin Ooh of tomorrow is theoretically stronger than the Sung Jin Ooh of today, and this process doesn't seem to have a visible limit. It's like he's constantly going through reawakenings. This is all thanks to a unique ability only Sung Jin Ooh has, which is responsible for not only his insane growth, but every weapon, tool, and ability he's gained throughout the series. Sung Jin Ooh gained access to a user interface known as a system that provides him with various features and information. The system interface is often depicted as a heads-up display only visible to him, which is modeled after a video game interface found in RPGs. Through this interface, he can view his status, quests, rewards, and other relevant information. There also exists an online store where several useful items and weapons can be purchased at any time. That's not all. The system also tracks other things, like Sung Jin Oo's physical condition in regards to his health and level of fatigue. The system doesn't only track Sung Jin Oo's condition, but also the condition of his allies and enemies, such as their level of aggression, health, and whether or not certain status effects take hold. In a way, the system acts as a multi-purpose training software with the purpose of making Sung Jin Ooh stronger, and this can be observed with the most basic function, the daily quests. Now, as the name implies, Sung Jin Ooh will be given a set number of physical activities he must complete every day, which range from dozens of push-ups to several kilometer runs. These activities must be completed in a certain amount of time, otherwise Jin Ooh will be forced into a penalty zone where he must survive for several hours, often against extremely powerful monsters that are sometimes stronger than he is. However, if he does complete the daily quests, he'll be given several rewards, ranging from status recovery, special items, and points that help him grow stronger. Speaking of which, the core of the system revolves around leveling up. Sung Jin Ooh starts at a low level and can gain experience points by defeating monsters. As they accumulate XP, they can level up, becoming stronger and gaining new abilities. Upon leveling up, he can receive stat points that can be allocated to different attributes such as strength, agility, intelligence, and so on. Additionally, they can acquire and enhance various skills that grant them special abilities in combat. Now again, each stat dictates one of Sung Jin Oo's physical stats, and they gradually increase when he puts stat points into them. The strength stat, of course, increases strength. He can become so strong that he can pick up and throw orcs with just one hand. He can punch with so much force that he can take down giants with just one blow. At a low level, he basically one-shots mid-tier monsters with a broken blade. This stat often allows him to go blow for blow with individuals who can destroy buildings with a casual punch. Agility dictates Sung Jin Oo's speed and reaction time. This may in fact be his most important stat, as his fighting style heavily favors blitzing his enemies and overwhelming them with a flurry of strikes. Sung Jin Ooh often dodges attacks at point-blank range, closes the distance so fast that most don't even register what's happening, and outspeed characters who are massively faster than sound. His greatest speed feat is being able to attack so fast that his opponents don't even realize they've been damaged. Vitality obviously increases Sung Jin Oo's health and the amount of punishment he can take in a combat encounter. It also dictates his endurance, basically how long he can fight before tiring out. The sense stat increases Sung Jin Oo's situational and environmental awareness, gradually increasing the strength of his major senses like hearing, eyesight, and sense of smell. It's powerful enough that he can see in the dark. It also gives him the ability to detect others' mana and if they have killing intent, so it's pretty difficult to sneak attack him, even when using abilities like invisibility. Intelligence increases the amount of mana reserves he has access to, and the potency and power of his supernatural abilities. Sung Jin Ooh finally has a powerful healing factor, which heals all his injuries much faster than your average man, and this increases when he rests. It's so powerful that Sung Jin Ooh was able to come back from being stabbed through the chest and frozen completely solid. These stats are impressive on their own, but they are far more deadly with Sung Jin Oo's incredible battle IQ, as he's incredibly fast on his feet and can combine his attributes to their most effective degree, which is one of the main reasons he's so effective as a hunter. But anyways, his physical stats aren't the only reason he's so impressive. He also has a number of skills that border on supernatural powers. Sun Jin Oo's skills are categorized into both passive and active skills, each with unique effects, so let's take the time to explain and analyze each of them. Bloodlust allows Sun Jin Ooh to release his energy as a wave. Those who are targeted are put in a state of fear, and their stats lower by 50% as a result. However, enemies of similar or higher level than Jin Ooh are immune to this ability. Stealth basically turns him invisible, as his presence and other traces of his existence are erased, giving him the ability to get a drop on his opponents. Dominator's Touch is glorified telekinesis. Sun Jin Ooh can manipulate and control any object without touching them. This ability can affect more than one object at a time as well. Dagger throw is pretty self-explanatory. He can throw daggers with immense precision and deal immense damage from range. Sprint gives Sun Jin Ooh an immense burst in speed by upwards of 30% when activated. He typically uses this to end conflicts as soon as possible. Critical Strike gives Sun Jin Ooh the ability to deal critical damage by hitting the vital points of an enemy. Damage to Sun Jin Ooh is reduced by 50% if his HP drops below 30%. His stats increase 1% every time 1% of his HP is decreased. As you can see, he's pretty damn hard to kill. Sun Jin Ooh can deal 33% more damage if he uses a dagger, which already is his main weapon anyways. His stats can increase over 40% when in conflict with any beast-type monsters like wolves, bears, and hedgehogs. Sun Jin Ooh is immune to poison, diseases, and debuffs as they are instantly nullified and his body is healed. Each skill, both passive and active, start at level 1, but the more Sun Jin Ooh uses them, the more they level up and the more powerful they become. Upon leveling up, their effects and power will be massively increased. For example, Dominator's Touch, upon leveling up, became Ruler's Authority, allowing Sun Jin Ooh to affect multiple objects at once. This is only a small glimpse of all the passive and active skills Sun Jin Ooh has. I probably missed a few, but regardless, these skills are complemented by a plethora of his powerful weapons. Rasaka's Fang was a dagger he gained after defeating a snake-type monster. It is made of its fang and has two special effects. First is paralysis, which stunts an enemy in place, making them unable to move. Second is bleed, which causes foes to gradually lose health over time. Baruka's dagger increases Sun Jin Oo's agility and attack by 10 points. The Night Killer increases damage by 25% when used against enemies with heavy armor. The Demon King's dagger works in a pair. If both are equipped, the daggers will have the same attack power as the wielder's strength stat. Kamish's Wrath, just like the Demon King's dagger, scales with the strength stat. The dagger also has the added bonus of detecting mana. Now each weapon is just a small amount of the total he has at his disposal. He's collected more, like an orb that increases the power of his magic when held. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these items can be gained through an online store within the system. Sun Jin Ooh can find armor, swords, runes, and dungeon keys. However, they need to be purchased in order to be used, but a lot of the time, items within the store are better than items found in dungeons. However, this isn't the only way Sun Jin Ooh gets his hands on powerful weaponry. Upon the defeat or death of certain monsters and even humans, they'll drop incredibly powerful weapons that take on their traits. Weapons aren't the only thing they drop, even their abilities can be gained. This is possible through the acquisition of runestones, which are dropped by specific enemies. Once the runestones are broken, Sun Jin Ooh will gain the ability in the form of a new ability. This is how he acquired skills like Stealth and Bloodlust. However, skills can also be passively gained if Sun Jin Ooh does certain repetitive actions, such as when Vital Strike was unlocked due to his tendency of targeting many enemy weak points. The stored enemy loot isn't the only way Sun Jin Ooh can attain power. He can also gain items and skills upon the completion of a special quest. Special quests are typically unlocked as a reward for completing the daily quests, and they come in the form of keys. When they are used, Sun Jin Ooh will be transported to basically an alternate dimension. Upon completion of this quest, Sun Jin Ooh will receive rewards like a ton of XP, level ups, and brand new items, which can make him stronger. But here's the thing. All these stats, weapons, buffs, and hell, even the system itself, all of them mean nothing when compared to his true power as a Shadow Monarch, a title which gives him complete dominion over life, death, and darkness. The most basic ability Sun Jin Ooh has as a Shadow Monarch is his control over the dead. When Sun Jin Ooh kills a foe whether monster, human, alive or dead, he can then revive them and transform them into a shadow soldier, who will immediately pledge loyalty to him regardless of their ego and pride. Any being can become a shadow soldier regardless of how powerful they are, as long as 3 conditions are met. 1. The shadow soldier has to be relative or weaker than Jin Ooh, otherwise the extraction will fail. 2. The target cannot be dead for a certain amount of time, otherwise they'll dissipate. And 3. Demons cannot become shadow soldiers for whatever reason. The shadow soldiers possess the same physical stats and abilities of their original form. However, just like Jin Ooh, they can gain XP and level up. What makes the shadow soldiers so dangerous is the sheer number of them Jin Ooh can summon. He can summon thousands and eventually tens of millions of shadow soldiers, some with unique abilities and others with the same power level as low-tier monarchs and S-class hunters. Let's not forget that they can level up as well. Worse yet, the shadow soldiers are basically immortal and will regenerate from any damage inflicted upon them as long as Jin Ooh has enough mana. Even worse yet, any enemy they kill will immediately be resurrected and become shadow soldiers for Jin Oo's army. Jin Ooh has full control over his shadow army, since they'll follow every order without question. He can share senses with his shadows, allowing him to see what they see. He can store shadow soldiers within the shadows of others. He can expand a domain called Domain of the Monarch, which increases the stats of all the soldiers by 50%, as long as they are under his shadow. He can exchange places with his shadow from any location, pretty much giving him a form of teleportation. But this ability basically becomes obsolete once he learns to teleport anywhere on the planet instantaneously with the help of one of his shadows. As a Shadow Monarch, his physical stats are millions of times higher than they were when he had possession of the system, such as his perception. Jin Ooh has much higher perception of time than anyone else. When an attack was thrown at him, time was moving so slow to him that the attack was only moving inches at a time. He could analyze every detail of an attack, including the opponent's breathing, eyes, and muscle twitches, making it incredibly difficult to hit him. His very memories transcended time and entered a new realm of existence, as he could witness the past, present, and future all at once. Jin Ooh can create and enter his own world that he has complete control over, making him a god in that space. He can even create life. That's not all. He can use this world to massively increase his stats and even trap foes within it for eternity. It's been stated several times that Jin Ooh has nigh on infinite potential, and that his growth doesn't have a limit, although this is entirely true according to the Shadow Monarch himself. However, Jin Oo's strength threshold is so high that to normal humans, it looks infinite. Hell, Jin Ooh supposedly tanked an attack, which was stated to be capable of erasing the universe itself. The system as we know it only existed to help Jin Ooh slowly gain and become accustomed to this level of power. It outlived its usefulness when Jin Ooh unlocked his true potential. When we take a look at some of the things he's capable of, this statement only becomes more true. Even from the start, the monarchs and rulers were capable of killing the absolute being, who's basically a god, responsible for creating everything in the universe. The rulers and monarchs on average are much weaker than the Shadow Monarch, meaning if we lowball to the most extreme degree, Jin Ooh with his Shadow Monarch abilities is a planetary threat, capable of wiping out humanity and other intelligent species. Jin Ooh by far is the strongest man in the world of solo leveling. His incredibly high potential combined with his dominion over life, death, and the shadows makes it obvious why everyone should fear him. It's incredible how a video game leveling system turned who was once called the weakest hunter in the world into a literal one-man army, and a personification of death itself. In a battle between Makima and Lucious, Makima sorta stands no chance, and for many reasons. First, Makima is inferior to Lucious in both basic stats like speed and strength. Lucious is a magician who can wrestle with the top tiers of the Black Clover verse, many of which can destroy full-on continents. Makima can obviously shoot you to space with a finger gun, but Lucious has enough durability to simply tank it with ease. Lucious also has a higher quantity of powerful magic and other spells, each of which were already enough to give the top tiers of Black Clover trouble. Like time magic, which alone would give him full reins to erase this iteration of Makima from existence, bypassing her contract with the Prime Minister. That doesn't even include his clones, all of which are as strong as he is. Even if you argued that Lucious cannot bypass the Prime Minister's contract, he'd have no qualms with just killing her over and over again, until the job is done. He has the ability to revive people who have been long dead. This wouldn't be much of an issue. Also, we can just simply trap her in a chronostasis bubble and spawn kill her how many times it takes for her to disappear. Hell, he can even use time magic to accelerate the process. Most of Makima's minions are vastly inferior to the paladins. Paladins are on the level of Magic Knight captains, who can be a threat to entire nations. All it would take is an army of angels to erase a majority of Makima's devil army. And if she tries to use the Gun Devil, most of the Black Clover verse has dealt with entities on par with or even stronger than the Gun Devil, and so it wouldn't be too much of a threat. They've also dealt with attacks that move faster than the Gun Devil's bullets. The only thing that Makima can do is attempt to control the paladins with her ability. But there's one major issue. The paladins are both created and controlled through the manipulation of the soul. Makima seems to control people through the domination of their mind. Soul manipulation in general is a much higher tier of control, since the soul encompasses every aspect of one's being. So Makima wouldn't be able to wrestle, control the paladins, or even defeat them for that matter. In fact, Lucious would probably be able to control Makima and her devils instead, since the whole point of his ability is purifying devil power in the soul. With his ability, he could easily purify both Makima and all her devils she possesses, allowing him to force her to his side. Things would be even more hopeless with Jin Ooh. First of all, his shadows massively outnumber the devils Makima has at her disposal, and there's in general a higher variety of powerful shadows than devils. For example, one shadow dragon is already many times more powerful than the Gun Devil. Hell, the Gun Devil's ability will be useless, since most of the shadows can infinitely regenerate. Also, since the shadows are spiritually tied to Jin Ooh and are a product of his ability, Makima will likely be unable to control them as well. Jin Ooh is overall faster and stronger in every way. Even her finger guns will be shrugged off, as Sung has dealt with continent-destroying attacks on many occasions. Baru alone could solo her entire army. The only thing that Makima has up her sleeve is her contract with the Prime Minister. If Jin Ooh was aware of it, it's very unlikely that he'd attack her, since he heavily cares about human life. This would create a stalemate situation where neither side can defeat the other. Don't get me wrong though, Jin Ooh is many times stronger than Makima, but his role as a good guy would stop him from killing her, unless he just throws her into a shadow realm, trapping her within for eternity. Now, Lucious and Jin Ooh are the only competitors left, and this is where things get a tiny bit one-sided. Jin Ooh is faster, stronger, and more durable. He's just a higher tier being in general, as the Shadow Monarch was always destined to rule. Lucious is just a pale imitation. Jin Ooh massively outnumbers Lucius's forces. You can combine the paladins, angels, and clones, and they still wouldn't come close to the overwhelming number of the Shadow Army, especially since a good number of them are a threat to all of humanity just by themselves. Another issue is their immortality. No matter what kind of damage inflicted upon them by Lucius's forces, the shadows will keep reviving for eternity, eventually outlasting the paladins. You might say that Lucius defeated the world-threatening Lucifero or something like that, making him planetary or whatever, but beings on a lower tier than the Shadow Monarch managed to kill the literal god of the verse, so you can guess just how strong the Shadow Monarch can get. The only thing Lucius can do is trap Jin Ooh in time stasis or something like that, but Sung is a being who's above concepts, so the time manipulation wouldn't function properly. There's just no denying it. The Shadow Monarch, Jin Ooh, is just way too versatile and powerful for any of these two to deal with. That's why when unstoppable forces collide, he takes the W.